Hi everyone, welcome to week 9 of the AdSense 10 challenge. I'm Matt Salisbury, I'm a product specialist here at Google, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about mobile and the impacts to your business and then just what we can offer from Google. So without further delay, let's hop into the slides. Alright, so as we work through today's topics, don't forget that the rest of the week is filled with activities designed to really reinforce what you've learned today. So if you have any questions along the way, we encourage you to ask one another in the Learn with Google for Publishers community, and to also bring your questions to office hours on Friday. So today we're going to touch on 3 things: why mobile matters, going mobile tips, and then finally Google's mobile monetization solution. So let's start off by just talking about what's happening in the mobile industry. So you've probably seen a graph like this before. So this says that by 2015, mobile internet users will surpass desktop internet users. And in the graph on the right, in 2013, mobile traffic will actually hit 25% of all internet traffic. And in many parts of the world, regions like Africa and Southeast Asia, everyone already has a mobile phone, but not necessarily a laptop or desktop. So the upside for mobile is even bigger, and the opportunity is growing every day. Every day, new users are upgrading to smartphones, and data is getting cheaper. Even in the US, there's still room for growth. Just last year, the US smartphone penetration surpassed 50%. So what does this mean for you as a publisher? Advertisers are already on the mobile platform, and it's only a matter of time until budgets start to match the growth of smartphone usage. In the U.S. alone, there's already a $20 billion opportunity. People use their smartphones everywhere. 38% of our daily media interactions occur on one. So if your content isn't mobile friendly, you're really missing out on a huge opportunity. In fact, I'd make a bet that for most of you, at least 10% of your web traffic is coming from mobile already. And depending on what vertical you're in, 50% is probably not out of the question. So how many of you actually know the percentage of your traffic coming from mobile? Luckily, since you're an AdSense publisher, you can find that out pretty easily. So in the screenshot, if you look, you can click Performance Reports, and then Platforms, and then High-End Mobile Devices. And you actually see the breakout of high-end mobile devices, tablets, and desktop to understand what is kind of the user profile of the users coming to your site. So the question shouldn't necessarily be, should I build a mobile site? It should be, how should I build my mobile site? In general, I'd recommend setting out a solid strategy before you even start building your mobile site. So just as with your desktop site, you really need to understand what's important to your users for a mobile site. You can look at your analytics and see what users are doing when accessing your site on a mobile phone, for example. Usually they're on the go or need quick access to information. They're paying for data, so they probably don't want to download big images or, for instance, flash videos. And if you think about some examples of how a mobile strategy would be different, you can look at, say, the bottom right-hand corner of this slide. So for travel tasks for mobile users, they want to check their flight status. They want to check for a flight confirmation, or they want to search for flight times. In contrast, if you compare that to the automotive task at the top left, really they're looking for directions or contacting a dealership or making a service appointment. So you really need to understand what vertical or what tasks mobile users are trying to do with your mobile site. In general, I'd recommend reading our mobile ads blog and also checking out the mobileplaybook.com to find out more information about these strategies. So that's a little bit about why mobile matters. Now, what are some tips that you can apply to really enhance your mobile experience? I'm going to talk through 3 steps for you about going mobile. The first thing is to test your site. Second thing is to learn mobile best practices. And then finally, build your site. And when I say test your site, I mean it's important to see how your site looks on a mobile device as a baseline first step. So access your site from a smartphone or tablet and then check the following points in terms of user experience listed on the slide. Is your content large enough to read? Is your site's navigation user-friendly? What do you think about the interactions on your site? And then also, how is your site's speed? Specifically for the speed aspect of your site, we actually have a really cool tool called the Page Speed Insights. So you can find this just by going on Google, searching for Page Speed Insights. It's likely the first link. And how it works is you can enter in a URL, whether it's your domain or a high traffic URL of yours, and we'll actually analyze that URL and give you recommendations on how you can improve your page loading time or perceived loading time. We also have a page speed service tool that will actually automatically optimize your site. This tool is free. It's actually still in beta, I believe, but you can also find that searching for Google Page Speed Service. So in general, those are two things that you can try to test your site to see how your page speed is doing, and then also a recommendation on just auto-optimizing your site to make it faster. The second tip for going mobile is to learn the best practices. So we've put together 10 best practices that I wanted to walk through, along with giving you examples of publishers that are doing this right now. So walking through them really quickly, first one is to keep it quick. And this means also page loading time, but also understand that mobile users, just like desktop users, are really scanning pages, so you don't want to put a lot of content right in front of them immediately. You also want to simplify navigation so it's clear where users can go on your mobile site. Make it thumb friendly because it's a smaller screen. People are likely on a touch device, so it needs to be touch friendly. Make it easy to convert, so you really want to understand the flow of users on your mobile site. What next steps do you want them to take? What indications to you would be, what indications would kind of highlight that they're interested in your website? The next one, make it local. So depending on your vertical, this could be more important than others. Make it seamless is a little vague, but really it's just meaning make sure you take all the best elements of your desktop site and bring it to mobile while keeping it simple at the same time. The next four, design for visibility. This is similar to the thumb-friendly rule, but make sure that your fonts are easy to read, make sure that they're big enough. The next one, make it accessible. So depending on the user device, there's certain things that will work on different devices. You have to take that into account when you're designing your mobile website. Use mobile site redirects. This isn't necessarily saying that you should create a separate mobile site, but just have links between your desktop and mobile website. And then the last one is more of a general best practice, which is to learn, listen, and iterate. Talk to your users, understand what things they like, and make sure that you're iterating on your design and constantly improving it. So I wanted to run through a few case studies here, the first one being Ryland Homes, to kind of highlight a lot of these mobile best practices. So one thing they've done really well is they're thumb-friendly. You can look at the buttons. It's nice and big. It's very easy to click on certain pieces of information. They've also designed for visibility, so the text is clear, the layout is clear, you understand what options are available to you. They've also simplified navigation, so if you look at the top here, they have home, back, and then 3 key paths that they think users will use a lot. They've also made it accessible, so Ryland Homes uses a certain technology to understand what device is coming to their mobile pages, so that depending on the device, they can change the site variation to tailor the user experience to that particular device, and that really maximizes the experience for the users. They've also made it easy to convert. So if you look at this information, they're really trying to push people to call, request information, or the three options below are really trying to move them further down until they feel comfortable making those calls to action. Switching to a new example, let's take a look at insurance auto auctions. So if you think about the automotive versus travel example that we talked about earlier, for an automotive insurance company, making it local is actually very important. So insurance auto auctions made that very prominent for their users. So you can see a store locator, you can see a phone number, you can also see their office hours. Use mobile site redirects. We'll actually see it in a screenshot later, but you'll see that they've linked their desktop and mobile experiences pretty cleanly. The next thing is they kept it quick. If you look at this design, really they're trying to allow users to find a certain car that they're interested in and then go check the details on it. It's streamlining the process to kind of optimize those conversions. And then the next one is make it seamless. We talked about the link between desktop and mobile. I think Insurance Auto Auctions actually made a conscious decision that they wanted to integrate a lot of what they had from the desktop site, but in the end, overloading users with a lot of information didn't really simplify the experience for them. So instead, they made it just very easy to switch back to the full website if the user has questions or doesn't find the information that they need. And finally, Insurance Auto Auctions really listened to some of their users to understand what type of content formats would be good for them. So maybe not reading through the specs of a car or reading through a lot of content, but instead actually seeing a video of the car will likely improve the conversions, improve the user experience of their mobile website. So that was just walking through some of the mobile best practices and then trying to use some real-world examples of publishers doing it. Once you've decided to build your site, what approaches can you do? So there's really three ways that we feel you can mobilize your site. You can use a third-party template or service so that you can easily optimize your website to multiple screens. The other way is to build it yourself. Now this takes time and technical skills, but the benefit is you can customize the design freely. If you want to use a contractor, we also have great recommended developers on our website, which is actually howtogomo.com, which is HOWTOGOMO.com. And we have a list of vendors that would be happy to build a mobile site for you. And finally, if you're investing in mobile from a Google AdSense perspective, we have some solutions that we think would work really well for you. Some of the ad solutions you're probably familiar with already if you have a desktop site, but they're also available for mobile. So looking at the image on the right, if your site contains search functionality like a job, real estate, travel website, you'll be able to monetize with custom search ads. I'll dig a little bit deeper into CSA mobile in a few, but right now let's talk about AFC mobile on the left. For everyone else who doesn't have a search-based site, AdSense for Content will be the right solution for you. In fact, the AdSense for Content ad code you use with your desktop site is the same code you used for your mobile site. The only difference is that you want to choose the ad sizes that are optimized for mobile. That's traditionally the 320 by 50, and then also for a bigger unit, we sometimes recommend the 300 by 250. And actually, just recently, we launched a new ad format called the responsive ad unit. So this responsive unit hooks into what are called media queries. These are essentially rules that determine how your page and your content and your layout is presented to users. As opposed to having a separate mobile web page, this is just one URL and the layout and presentation changes based on the rules that you set up. So this responsive ad unit actually hooks right into those rules and allows you to choose which ad size you want to serve based on the device or the screen size a user is using. So you can find more information on the responsive ad unit in our Help Center. And you can also go to the My Ads tab in the AdSense UI and then read about it more by selecting the responsive ad unit in the ad size. What's even easier is that most of the same optimizations tips that you've used for desktop also apply to mobile. So if you're one of the pubs here today with a mobile site, be sure to have your optimizer take a look at these 4 things. Try different ad sizes, try different ad positionings, change the look and feel of an ad, and then also implement up to 3 ad units. As with desktop, you're allowed to have 3 ad units per mobile page. We often find that the 320 by 50 and 300 by 250 tend to monetize the best. But I will say, while we allow 3 ad units per page, you want to keep in mind that on a mobile web page, or actually even desktop too, people are typically coming to your page to get an answer to a question. So you don't want to put 3 ads on a page just to have 3 ads. If it's distracting users from getting their answer, that's not a good user experience. But if you do have a really long page, or you think an ad would be really relevant in a slot, we definitely encourage you to put up to 3 ad units. Now let's talk about CSA Mobile. As I mentioned previously, you must have your own search functionality on your site. So if you use a Google search bar or WordPress search bar, then this won't be a solution for you. Some verticals that tend to be good candidates for CSA are job search, classified, travel, real estate, and e-commerce. So how they work is the Google ads actually complement your search results so you can make money from each query. And typically they have really high RPMs because users are really engaged. So if you look at this example, we have Trulia, a user searching for Washington, D.C., and Trulia is a real estate website. So you can see they search for Washington, D.C., they go to a page with some search results, and the slide's a little small, but if you can squint, you can see that we have ads about Washington, D.C., real estate rentals, and overall it's very targeted to the search query people are using. Along with the monetization benefits, CSA ads are really customizable. So if you look at the implementation on the left versus the right, you can change the look and feel of the ad. So you can change the colors, for example. You can also customize the ad placement. So if you look at the 3 examples here, you can place it at the top, middle, bottom. It can be fixed. It's really customizable based on the placement. So that is actually it for the class this week. I hope you've learned something. Tomorrow we'll actually explore mobile even further by meeting a few members of the AdSense community in a Hangout on Air, which I'll actually be attending as well. And on Friday, we'll have office hours for you to answer any questions you may have. So that'll be at 11 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then our final week will be of AdSense 10 Challenge will be focused on Google+. So that is it for me. Again, I hope you really learned something today, and I hope to see you tomorrow at our Hangout on Air. Thanks. Bye.